What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're taking a look at this 2024 Chevrolet Trax. This one is a 2RS, finished off in crimson metallic, and the MSRP is just $26,500. So let's go ahead and take a full look at what this affordable crossover is gonna have to offer. So if we find that hood latch, if we can find it, there we go. Underneath the hood, this is gonna pack a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged motor. It puts out 137 horsepower with 162 pound-feet of torque. It's also paired to a 6-speed automatic and front-wheel drive. Now you're going to expect about 28 mpg in the city and 32 out on the highway with this car as well. The styling, I gotta say, looks really cool, especially in this color combination. It's definitely really sporty. We have a nice set of LEDs up on top for your daytime running lights, along with the turn signals. If we go ahead and press a button on the key fob, you can go ahead and see how everything lights up. Those will start to glow just a little bit, and then down below. But you're gonna see the actual headlight is right there with a blacked out housing, and I like the dark chrome trim for this grille, especially cutting through the red. So really cool looking. You got some gloss trim down below, an opening for the intercooler, nice size grille with the RS and a blacked out Chevy logo. I can see some of the new Colorado in this, and even a little bit of Camaro, so it definitely fits the Chevrolet family. Got really nice sharp lines fading towards the windshield. But honestly, can't complain. Really cool looking. Now this side, we have 19-inch wheels. I can kind of see Lamborghini Huracan wheels in these, just kind of twisted a little bit. We got the diamond cut carbon flash, definitely really sweet. And then the plastic material for the fender flare, a little bit of sharp lines in the actual paintwork itself. More of that plastic material. Then you can see a sharp line going all the way through the side. We have body colored door handles, gloss black mirror caps, then all black surrounding these windows, and then more black for the roof rails and a sunroof up on top. Overall side profile, pretty good looking once again. I think the proportions are definitely there. Not too big, not too small. Sharp line over the front, and just more sharp lines cutting towards the rear. So I really do like the way this car comes together. In back, we have a full integrated body color spoiler with your third brake light. Nice set of taillights integrated into that bodywork, and a little bit of a bulge back here just to give this car some width. Some sharp lines throughout the rear with blacked out badges, and then blacked out rear end with some gloss black trim. So definitely a cool looking little crossover. I think they styled it very nicely. Now to move on to some cargo space, we have a button under here, and you can see the removable cargo cover. Pretty open in here, nice and squared off. You got an extra cubby over there, same with over there. And if we open this up, a nice size spare. Now from here, if you want to go ahead, pop this off, just give it a firm pop, and we can remove that and just get a little bit better look at the interior here. Now from back here, these headrests do fold down. There's just a button you can easily press, but we can fold these down easily from here and really maximize what kind of cargo space you're gonna have. Manually closing that, we go through the side now. You can see how they fold nice and flat. Huge cargo area, plenty of space up here as well. And then if we put the seats back up, you get a nice interior. This is the jet black. It's a synthetic leather material, smooth and perforations with red stitching, and I like that red stripe. Now the rear door panels are just all plastic. They have a nice look to them, but definitely a little on the cheap side. If we hop inside now, go ahead and put that seat up. There is no center armrest rack here, so a little on the simple side for the back row. You are gonna get some storage here and here, as well as plugs, but no air vents. If I go ahead and close this, sitting back here is actually pretty comfortable. At 5'11", I have plenty of legroom and footroom. The seat is actually in a good position, a good angle of recline as well to fit back here nicely, and there's quite a lot of glass to make it feel pretty good. Now, like I said, the armrest is plastic and there's no armrest in the center, but fundamentally this is actually a good sized back row. Just wouldn't mind air vents or maybe a center armrest. So from here, let's check out the driver's seat. We have, of course, a button on the side to lock and unlock it. And then you're gonna get a little bit nicer door panel with the vinyl material and stitching. A little bit more padding on the armrest. It's kind of a rubbery instead of plastic. A little bit of texture, all of your basic controls, and storage down below. Now these seats are all manual controls, same materials you just saw in back, but I really like how we have the RS logo right here. More stitching with that stripe. You're also gonna see the piping, and then the RS badge up on that headrest. Steering wheel also has a pretty cool look to it. Somewhat of a flat bottom design. You can see the perforations in it. Of course, we have that sunroof. And then let's go ahead and fire it up. You're gonna see both of the screens are gonna turn on. And then on the steering wheel, we have all of your cruise control settings on the left with forward pacing, heated steering wheel, Bluetooth and audio controls. There's volume controls back here, track tuning over on this left side. Cool looking wheel for sure. And then the stock on the right side for windshield wipers, turn signal, and high beams on the left. Gauge cluster is all digital. You can see the tax, speedometer, fuel, as well as your odometer on the right. Pretty nice layout. And then we have headlight controls, interior dimming, and I love these air vents. Really cool with your red trim on them, certainly a sporty touch. Just got some plastic material for the dashboard. However, on the passenger side, this is like a cool texture. So it looks a little bit cooler, more of the red, and then some gloss black trim. Now in the center, your typical General Motors infotainment screen, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can also go into your audio. We have phone integration, of course. Tapping this icon, you're gonna see some of the information for traction control. And then right here, we have a few things to monitor within the car. We can go into this one, see a few more items, and then maintenance as well. Back to the home screen. If I go ahead and put it into reverse, you're gonna see that backup camera popping up with pretty HD graphics as well as your guidelines. And then you're also gonna see we have climate controls that will pop up on the screen itself. The actual climate controls are also down here. You can easily adjust your temperature, fan speed. You can see a nice LCD screen, and then more controls all surrounding that. There's wireless phone charging, different plugs, lane keeping, engine on off, and then you can see we have some more red accents throughout the center with 2 cup holders and a slot for your cell phone. More storage in the center, and then a nice sized glove box. Kind of rubbery once again, but just a little bit of padding, and then your typical glove box. So one last look at the interior. Honestly, really sporty interior for what it is. I'm assuming that's what RS stands for. This is the really sporty trim, but it's actually a decently nice place to be for an affordable price. Black headliner with that manual sunshade, all those controls and dome lights, and then your thin mirror. All right, so we are setting off now in the Trax 2RS. Certainly not a fast car at all with only a 3-cylinder. However, it actually does get up to speed fine. It's not like it's too slow to get out of its own way. If you're just cruising and need to get up a little bit, I mean, that's up to 55, 60 pretty quickly. So not bad, and you're getting good gas mileage. So normal driving, you do have a really good view around. Windshield's really large. Mirrors all seem to do a great job. Visibility is really good over your right and left shoulders. Maybe the rear corner of the car is a little bulky, but honestly, it's a small enough vehicle to where you don't really notice it. When you're on cruise control and everything, of course, lane keeping works much better on the highway. However, the distance pacing works really nicely. It maintains the speed pretty well. This is actually a pretty comfortable car. I'm sitting in here and these seats are nicely padded. Pretty good use of materials for what you touch. Only complaints, I would say the armrests are kind of hard. It's just hard rubber, so not really the most comfortable armrests. But the seats are fine, and it's a nice place to be. It's not really noisy or anything. You've been going 50, taking some sweeping turns. You know, the car is pretty confident, pretty composed. It doesn't feel cheap. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed with the price point. These start around $20,000. This one's about fully loaded. I believe an active is the other trim level that's about the same as this, but very much under 30 grand. This seems to be super affordable for what it is, and it doesn't feel like just a cheap little crossover. It actually feels really nice to be in here. It's very simple the way the gauges are and everything are laid out. Like, there's no configurability for a digital screen, which could be cool. However, you know, there's no drive modes or anything, but it looks nice. It's easy to use. Everything on the screen works the way you would expect, and it has simple controls, good storage, things like that. So not bad. And at 5'11", I'm sitting here with good legroom. My legs are nice and stretched out a little bit. I'm not sitting on the floor to where my knees feel bent or anything weird. So I feel like I'm in a pretty comfortable seat. I could probably do this, you know, all day long. And the fact that those rear seats actually have some space is pretty impressive. But normal driving, it definitely feels like a pretty kind of what you would expect crossover. However, nicer, because sometimes the affordable ones are very cheap feeling. This doesn't feel like that. It feels like a good place to be. Now we got some big train track bumps. We'll see kind of the build quality, things like that. Looking around and touching things in this interior, while there are a lot of plastic components, you know, for the price, it's kind of justifiable. but the overall ride quality and stuff like that, it feels pretty solid. So hitting this, wow, that actually took it like a champ. We're only going 20 over it, but I've been in some cars that bump really hurts. So the fact that this actually feels pretty solid for the price point and everything, seems like a pretty good option.